Welcome back to turn 14 of Mrs. Thatcher's War. I was uploading the last one onto YouTube, and we've got a good few hours in this game, but I don't want you to think it is a game that would take 6 or 7 hours to play. I mean, you look on the back and it says 1 to 3 hours. Now, I think it'd be some going to finish it in an hour, but I think 3 hours is more realistic, because I've been talking and waffling a lot of the way through it, as I am doing now. And bear in mind, it's my second game as well, so I'm still referring to rules, and I'm thinking about things whereas once you've played a few times, you'd just be doing this without really thinking about. So yeah, I would say about 3 hours for the game. But anyway, on with turn 14, and the first thing we do is the weather. Let's have some bad weather, but not too bad. We don't want to skip a turn. And it's a 6, so we've got fair weather. So double 3 there. That's a little bit disappointing. We have got some things to do. If you look down here, again turn 14, we've got the STUFT and the SAS. So the SAS goes in the exclusion zone. Do we take the Picard unit out or not? Because chances are we're going to take it out next turn anyway. We could try and get rid of the exercise, but you've only got one chance in 6. You can mislead. You can send the SAS to spoof or mislead the Argentine Air Force. Roll the dice, select a C zone, then turn any group house there face down. The group house can't send planes this turn, but it can be attacked by British ships. And then you roll, well, that could be a good shout, because it's a risk, because we might roll I mean, there's 2 group hosts to be added from the mainland, but because there's fair weather, the Argentine planes are going to be there. So to get rid of a group house, or possibly 2, would be good going. So I think the other option is to join one of these stacks, or we can recce, roll a die to see what these scores. I mean, it's a bit late to do that now anyway, I think, because the stacks that we've got are where they are. There's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, I'm going to go for the SAS spoofing. So we're going to hopefully turn the group house face down. Let's see what number we roll. I'd like a 4, to be honest, because I'm going to be putting planes there to get rid of those group house. So we want a 4. And it's a 6. So there are no planes there. I've just wasted the turn. So the SAS now does the saving roll to see where on the track, if anywhere, it goes to. And it's a 5. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the SAS will come back for the very last turn of the game. Okay, now the ship's taken up from trade marker. So at this point, remove the marker from the game and roll 1 die. Check the result below. If Argentina has at least 2 exocets on the turn record track, and they have got 2, see down there, add 2 to the roll and reduce the exocet total by 1. So we reduce that by 1, which is good. But the 2 added to the roll is not good. And I'll show you why as I roll it. It's a 4, add 2, and a 6. And we are looking there. 6 or more, catastrophic hit. The player gets no helicopter units. So we could have had up to 3 of these units appearing in the stacks to help us move an extra camp. No go. That's failed. Diplomatic feint, we're not going to do that because the BBC News is up to there. So it's the group O's phase now. So we roll 2 dice to see where group O's go. And that's a double 4. Double 4. There's none coming on. So this could be a good turn. So no group O's going in there. And it's now the task force phase. Now, because of the number of planes that might be on the Falklands map, I was wondering whether to use both carriers. We're going to have, again, 1 escort there, because if you remember, doing this means we flip 1 stack, because we've only got 1 escort, but they can include one that's already flipped. So we've got 1 flipped, so I only need 1 escort. And I'm going to attack in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to attack the Hermes attack there. I'm going to have Iwo Jima attack there with the 3 Harriers. Doesn't leave us with many. But if this goes well, we're not going to have many planes on the board. And the escort I'm going to have there, and that's to try and protect the Iwo Jima as well. So we don't have the same situation as with the Invincible when we lost it because we didn't have an escort. So first one we're going to do is the Iwo Jima to attack one of those group O's. And as you remember, we have +5 to the roll. So the Iwo Jima, yeah, we're not going to lose a carriers, I'm thinking, because we're adding +5, so the lowest score we could get is 8. So we didn't need to do that, but we are doing. So we've got 14 +5 for the Iwo Jima, so that's 19, which is the best result we can. Chaff deflects an exocet into the ocean, although no, it's not. If Argentina has fewer than 2 exocets, which they have now because of what we've just done, treat this result as no contact. No contact. Let's place the Iwo Jima in that box there. So we've not got rid of that group Os. Now we're going to do the escort. Same one, +5 to the roll. And it's done it again, 15. +5, 20. And fewer than 2 exocets, that one also goes in there. So, disaster. Onto the Hermes. The Hermes is going to come in sector C, 6, 7, 8. No contact. And that one's there, so an absolute disaster of a turn for the task force. Now onto the air assets, and I thought we were going to be in a good position. I thought we were going to get rid of at least 2 of those. We've not got rid of any. So we're now rolling 1 to see which group O's deploy planes first, and it's a 3. So sector C has 2 planes. Don't think we're going to get air superiority in 3 areas here. Sector C has 2, Sector D has 4, and Sector B has 4 as well. Although there's only 3 left, so Sector B has those. Now we decide where to put these 5 planes. So we've got a total strength value of 35 with these. If we don't have air superiority here and here, these get pinned down. But can we create... Yes. to go with .21 there against a score of 20, but they have got extra scores for these, and I'm going to go with 2 here. We can potentially move these as well. Let's see. So, sorry, I've not done the target sector. It goes with the most British ground units, not including helicopters and the KLF. It doesn't say anything about whether they're flipped or not. So although they're out of supply, they are still ground units. So sector B is the target air sector. I can see this being a bit of a disaster. I'm happy with that. So those roundels could move out of the way as well. Right. No, we're going with that. So the Argentine junta plan is a 3. And the Navy plan, which is leave Argentine planes where they are. So no movement there. Then we go on to the Argentine reaction. 4. Move all eligible planes to Sector A. Okay. So, eligible planes. The Donadille Ace is on the East Falklands map, but not in Air Sector A, E or the target sector, which is not, is in Sector D. Move that to Sector A. They can't move. There's only 2 there, so it's this one as well. Moves to there. So they have got an advantage, but we've got ground support tracks. Ground support tracks, ground support modifiers. We can't. With the ACE reaction, if an air sector contains Argentina's Donadille ACE unit, then no British ACE unit may leave, enter or pass through the sector at this time. So can't bring those to support unless we do this one first and hopefully get rid of that one. So we're going to go with a fight here. So we're the attacker. Argentines don't receive anything, no Picaras. We've cleared out Sector A, so they don't get any modifiers. The British get +1 because we have ground support. It's just a one-off with the British with the ground support. There are no settlements, no naval gunfire, so we've got +4. So we've got a total of 18, they've got a total of 15. So we're at 100% on the chart. Let's roll the dice and see what we end up with. It's a 5. I think that's good. Yes, it is. A 5 at 100%. Defender breaks off pursuit. Well, the defender breaks off that way, as we've already seen. That means they go in the discard pile. And we're not going to pursue. So reset that. We come to this with the modifiers. We have got ground units. So we get a modifier for that. We also, each British held civilian settlement, we've got 2. We've got that one, even though we're out of supply, we've still got the settlement, and that one. So we go up to there. The Argentinians go up. They have 1 ground unit and a Picara, so they go up to 5. Now, because we got rid of the Donadille, these can now move into that sector as well. So we've got a value of 35 plus 9, so 44. The Argentinians got a value of 19 plus 5, 24. So we're not at 200%, we're at 150%. Let's see if we can get another favourable roll. And it's a 5. I think that might be. So it's 150%. Defender breaks off. And we can pursue. So the defender breaks off. But we're going to have to pursue, because we can't leave, although we've now got superiority if we leave one in there, we can't leave those there. And I just want to check that I can send some of my planes in. British player pursuit. The player may elect to pursue with any or all of his planes. Well, I'm going to leave one plane there so that I still have air superiority here. And 4 here. So no modifiers for the Argentinians. We have ground forces. And that's it. So we have one modifier. So we're on 28 plus 4, we're on 32. And they're on 15, they're on 19. So again, we're at 150%. And it's a 2, that's not as good. A 2 at 150% is dogfight. Dogfight, you remember, is the initial attack is parried. I think I've had a dogfight on this game. The defending side is now the attacker. So we just roll on the 100% column with the Argentinians as the attacker. And a 2. So I think that's good for us, actually. That's 100%. Yes, it is. Attacker breaks off and we can pursue. Well, the attacker is now the Argentinians. They break off to the left, which sends them into the repair box and also gives us superiority. We've not got superiority in 3 zones. That was never going to happen this turn. But we've got it in 2. So we've got it in A and B, which is important. Now we're on to the ground war phase. The BBC news level isn't 7 or lower, so we're not out of supply from that. If it's an air turn, and the British do not have air superiority in at least 3 air sectors, 1 face-up stack of British ground units in a camp goes to its out of supply side. Now, so we've got these 2, that's already out of supply. I want to try and take this out because that will get rid of that Picari unit, so I'm flipping this stack. I don't want to, but we've got to. So the only one that can move is this one, and it's going to move 1 into 10. I know it looks like it can move there, but you do it in the order 11, 10, 9. So we're moving that stack to there. Let's see what this is that we're facing. It's a patrol. Now we've moved 1 area now. If you remember, the patrol is then discarded and we roll again. The Picari unit goes as well, so we've finally got rid of both of those. The patrol, if we roll a 1, 2 or 3, the stack seizes movement. So if we get a 4, 5 or 6, we can carry on going for another 2 because we've got the KLF, so we can move a total of 3. So we've taken that, had a skirmish with the patrol. Now, 1, 4, 5 or a 6. And we've got a 6. So we can actually move these to Bluff Creek. So not a bad turn. And that's done. We're done there for the ground units. Any British stack, reset now. Any British stack which is out of supply turns over. So we've potentially got these back in play. I've just turned that. Apologies for that. Doesn't make a lot of difference at this point. Shouldn't know what it is. I did see it, but so we get these in there and these Harriers. The reason that doesn't make, I mean, it does make a bit of difference because I know what I've got to come there, but we've already got these on the camps going, so it's not as though I can move anything. I suppose I could move the KLF at some point, but that's not a big deal. So done that, and we now going to roll for the Argentinian warships. And I'm wondering if I've missed something. I believe I have. Let me track back. When do I? No, haven't. I thought I'd missed the point where you have one goes out of supply if the warships are on the map, but that's done after you roll for the warships, which I'm doing now, so I haven't missed anything. A 1 and a 2. So Belgrano's there. The carrier's there. Now, if there are any Argentine ships at sea, flip one stack of British ground units in a camp to its out of supply side. Well, I'm going to flip this one because it's furthest ahead. We need to get the others moving. Now onto the Argentine planes repair pool, which nicely we've got a lot there. So first of all, we select the lowest strength unit that's not a Donna DA or Roundel. So it's that A4 unit there. So that one is discarded. Try again if possible. It is possible. So we take the lowest again. And it's that one. So we've managed to get rid of 2 more units there. So we're doing all right with that. Fair weather. So all the other planes can return into the pot. We've got less and less there now. There's 5 going back in from here. And there's 4 on the map. So at the moment there's only 9 planes available to the Argentinians. Political factors, we remove the Pope. Well, the Pope's coming into play next turn, which just affects combat, which probably won't affect us. We've not got a lot of combat to come, possibly there, but I know what that is. It's not combat. So again, my apologies for seeing that. So we remove the Chilean radar. And now we are going over to the headline phase. So let's roll the dice. And it's a 1. Plus the turn number, which is turn number 14. And we've got a 15. So here we are, turn 15. EEC NATO allies first. So let's roll to see which of the allies are doing what at 3. We didn't want that one. Italy's coalition rejects economic sanctions. Return 1 random Argentine plane from the discard pile to the Argentine mainland. So I'm just going to grab all these planes here. So 1. And that one's going back in. So all that hard work, and we get another one back in there. The BBC leaks MOD secrets. So if it's a 6, we lose a ship to the repair box in South Georgia, and it is. So I'm going to tempted to put a carrier in there, because if I do an escort, it's got less chance of taking out the Grupos, but it leaves 3 more planes free. So I'm going to put the Iwo Jima in the box. Io Gurkhali. The Gurkhas are already on the ground. There's no Blue Star. The Gurkhas are there actually. There's no Blue Star unit next to me. No effect. Sidewinder, all the Harriers are on the map. Pinochet's Revenge though, the Chilean radar is coming back into play. We can't attack there or there. We can, however, put it there, so we can potentially try and get rid of 2 Grupos. Although we don't want a real high score again, do we? I'm tempted to put it there and then have the escort go there and the Hermes go there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. The papal visit, that's already happened. It's happening next turn. And the Wets undermine Thatcher, which I think is a +3. Sorry, -3 from the news. Yes, it is. So 1, 2, 3. And finally, housekeeping. We remove these. And the Argentine planes, 4 of those on the map. That's those. And on we go with turn number 15. So the Pope is on the game track, which can affect any battles we have this turn, because we don't want to upset the Pope. Let's roll for the weather. And it's turn 15, so it's the last one on that weather table, and then we're using it's a 9. So we've got squalls, which I like. So we've got no air. No SAS. We're not going to use diplomacy. Or are we going to use diplomacy? Because we're not wanting to fight this now. Now, I wouldn't... Technically, I wouldn't know that that wasn't an Argentinian unit. Although I would. Oh, would I? No, because I think one of those might be. Yeah, so... No, so I'm not going to use diplomacy because I wouldn't in case I was fighting with that. So I'm not going to do that. So we're straight on to the group host phase. So we still roll for the group hosts, even though there's no air, because we'll put them on the strategic map. A 4 and a 2. We've got 2 in sector 4 and 2 in sector 2. So we don't have to worry about any more coming to the map. So what do we do? What do we do? I'm going to put 1 escort there. Again, we've got 1 out supply unit already here. So that covers the fact we've only got 1 escort supplying. And we're going to put the escort there, as I spoke about, and then the Hermes is going there. And it was going to be no air. I want to put that one there, but who's to know? So we're now on to attacking. So I'm going to use the escort first. And hope I don't get a really high score so that it doesn't, 16 or more will be cancelled out. So got +5, remember, because of the Chilean rating. 8, 9, +5, 14, we're alright. We get rid of that groupo. Brilliant. That groupo goes, the escort goes, raise BBC News by 1. And one of these goes back into the repair pool. Although we're not going to have enough. Although because it's squalls, they won't be returned from the repair pool this turn. So that's okay. So now the Hermes is the one that we're going for. So we're all again. There's no modifier because the radar's just in sector C. San Julian. A 6. Oh, not good at all. British escort sunk by bombs, reduced BBC News by -8. Place British ship in the trailer box, even if it is a carrier. So, as I explained in an earlier video, it doesn't mean one of the escorts has been sunk. It means one of the Hermes escorts has been sunk. So that goes there. We don't take out the Grupo, and we go -8. So we're down to 3. Should have used that diplomacy. That's going to affect our supply anyway, because anyway, no air phase. So no air. Straight onto the ground war. And here we go. If the BBC News level is 7 or lower, flip 1 face-up stack of British ground units in a camp on the Eastern Falklands map to its outer supply side. Which one do we move? Well, this one's got furthest to go, so let's get these ones. So we leave that one, sorry. These go to out of supply. We're right with the others because if it's an air turn, the British do not have air superiority in at least 3 airs. So it's not an air turn. So I believe we're okay with this stack to move 2 camps. There's nothing to stop it. Just empty stacks. Air superiority is not an issue. No mountains. So we're going to move to outside Chatter. So we're there. And that's it. That's it for the ground war this turn. Now we reset. So the 2 out of supply units for now go back. No group house flipped. All units in the trailer box now move back to the TZ box. The planes move from the C zones. And at St. Carlos, the escort's back as well. Now we roll for the Argentine warships. Unless we get a double, we're going to have another ground force out of supply. And it's a 2 and a 3. So 2 and a 3. I'm just making a note of where we've moved to. So now, funnily enough, I think on here it's got recommended for where you want to be moving to, and we're actually on track according to that 888. But I can't see that carrying on because we're going to be very defeatist in this game. But I'd like to think realistic, because we're going to have out of supply units, because now the Belgrano and the carrier are on the in the C zones, so I need to flip a stack. I wanted they're all an 8. I'm going to flip this one. Who's got the most mountains to come? 3, 4. Got slightly more mountains. In fact, that one's got 3 mountains, so no, and it's got the KLF, so it can move further when it does move, so I'm going to flip that to its outer supply. Argentine repair pool, that one stays there because the squalls, nothing comes back. Political factors, the Pope's gone, he's out of the game for good. And headline phase. Five plus the turn number, it's turn number 15, so we're got a 20. Oh, player aid card. So we're there with the Buckingham Palace. The Buckingham Palace can only occur once. It's already occurred with the Scots Guard and the Welsh Guards coming in. The KLF, Kelp Logistics Force, we can move that from there to one of these, but the reason we kept that one there is because it can move quicker, and that's why I moved it to out of supply, so I'm leaving it where it is. Also the Chilean radar, so it should have gone back into the box for now. And we're doing the EC on NATO allies, so let's not roll the Italians, please, this time. We haven't. 6 as Reagan, I think. It is indeed.